Welcome back. From warming up to staying hydrated, there are important steps our young athletes and truly ourselves can take to keep our bodies in shape year-round and help reduce the risk of injuries. Here with more is UT Health orthopedic surgeon affiliated with Memorial Hermann, Dr. John Conway. Dr. Conway, welcome to the show. It's great to see you.
Hi, Courtney. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Let's start about preventing injury. You know, I have two young boys, one's 14, one's 10. They're both very active. Let's talk about that preventing the injury, because in school sports, we usually have what's called something like a health assessment in order to participate.
Right. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you should be participating. So if you're older, you want to make sure your doctor thinks it's safe for you to participate and it's cleared for you to participate. If you're younger, you want to make sure you've done all the things that are appropriate for your sport. You go into the weight room or whatever with goals and boundaries that should set you up or prepare you for that sport. So the things everybody thinks about is lifting weights, but flexibility, agility, balance, strength are all important to that process. And then when you get to the field or the court, you want to make sure that you've warmed up well, getting your heart rates up, stretching your muscles out, doing the muscle reactivation exercises, and then all the sport-specific exercises you're supposed to do. Then while you're participating, you want to make sure you stay hydrated. It's really important here in the South. Use proper equipment, use good mechanics. Really look for and recognize when you're having overuse-related injuries, and then do the appropriate things to cool down.
Absolutely. And, you know, I think we hear this all the time, that kids, you know, they're resilient and maybe they don't need a lot of warm up like maybe we do, but that's not true. The kids need just as much warm up and sort of the recovery days as well.
Right. We advise not to have what we call bus sport, where you get out of the bus or get out of the car and just go play right away. You got to have the time to get there before whatever event you're doing starts, so you have the time to prepare and get ready.
Well, I also think, too, staying hydrated. Of course, during our hot months, it's something that so many of us drill home, that we're making sure that we're drinking. When the temps start to cool a little bit, I'm guilty of this. I find myself, even after long runs, I'm not drinking enough water. And this is a timely conversation to have, not only with ourselves, but our kids, too. How much water did you drink today?
Right. So as little as 1 to 3% of your body weight is considered dehydration. So you really should be consuming not just one bottle of water after you go out and work out. You should be drinking multiple bottles. And if you are working out for more than an hour, you should be drinking some type of a sport drink to augment some of your electrolyte losses.
Yeah, those are all really great points, too. And I also think, too, evaluating injuries, if they potentially happen, the earlier we get evaluated, the better.
Right. It's really important that athletes let their trainer, their coach, their parents know right away when they're having a problem, because the sooner we pick something up, the less likely it is to progress to a major problem that's going to ultimately require surgery or significant lost time from the sport.
What about early sport specialization? Does that mean that you're really only concentrating on one particular area and not really looking at the other sports?
Right. So that's something that our society has looked at very closely. There's a lot of published work on this. There's no question that early sports specialization increases your risk for injury, and in fact may decrease your potential to progress to the higher levels of sport, particularly the elite and professional levels, because of that increased risk for injury in the process. And the understanding is that by being involved in multiple sports, you have much less risk for overuse injury, because you're cross-training, doing other activities. It gives you a chance to recover from the stresses that occur from the specific sport you're trying to participate in. As an example, gymnastics, those kids typically specialize by age 9. Right. Some others it's 12 or 13. But in baseball, we know that if you look at big league players, there's a much higher injury rate among big league players who had early sports specialization compared to those that did not.
Yeah, we need those recovery days as well, and the younger bodies need to recover. Dr. Conway, thanks so much for the conversation today. Very timely and great input.
Sure enough. Thanks for having me.
You bet. For more information, visit ironman.memorialhermann.org or simply give them a call at 713-222-CARE.